Once again, it's your man, 100 grand Ross with the Rock Never Stops. Man, it's a beautiful morning. Detroit Pistons, they win another. Uh, great finish, great finish, great team win. And I want to dive into that team win in this video, in this live. This is, it's becoming one of those things where my level of expectation for this roster, for Cade Cunningham, for what they're able to do is really high. My expectations for this roster is up here, right? I think coming into the season, and for a lot of us down here, it's like, look, just get to 30 wins, right? That's all a lot of us wanted. For myself, I wanted them to get to between 32 35 wins. And at some point during the season, they're rolling, and I'm just like, yo, they're going to smash through 35 wins. And they have. They have. Let me see, currently at 39 wins. I told you they're going to run through 40, and none of us expected that. And at the same time, I don't think that just because they have outperformed their expectations that we need to diminish the expectations that we now have for this team and for Cade Cunningham. My last live, I did a video on Cade Cunningham needing to take a step back. And somebody posted on X, they were like, yo, you might want, what do they say? You might want to remove this video or change the take on this video. And I was like, hell no, bro. You didn't watch the game. Because when you watch this game, the first half game, Cade was doing everything I said he needs to stop doing. He needs to stop doing. And I'm going to do a video. For those of y'all who are in here early with me, what's good? What's good? This is an interactive live. So feel free to throw down thoughts, notes, stuff like that in the comment section. And I'm going to go back and forth with y'all as I go. One of the things that I've loved are point guards. I used to run point guard. That was my thing. And when I was a kid, I was more of a lead guard. I was like Gilbert Arenas. I just wanted to fire that thing up. I wasn't as big and tall, right? I'm like 6 feet, 6'1". But I wasn't thinking about everybody else. I was thinking about getting my shot off, trying to get to the rack. I had a jump shot at an early age, so I was letting that thing go, shooting that thing for instance. And I remember when I got into, right after high school, I was in this like open run intramural thing. And this teacher, he would always get on me. He was like, man, you should be doing a lot more. And he ends up saying, if you were this good, you should be able to make others better. And I took it as a challenge. And my whole mentality shifted. My whole mentality shifted. And it became focused on how do I make others better? And it's a fun challenge when you play basketball. Try it. Try to make others better. It's a great workout, figuring out where to plug yourself in. But the thing is, when I look at Cade Cunningham, he makes others better. There's no discounting that. But at his level, there's a different expectation. Not just because of his talent, not just because of his position, but also because of what this team needs. A lot of you, well, I've talked about on my channel before, I did kinesiology in my undergrad. That was my bachelor's degree. And take sociology of sport, psychology of sport. And those classes were just hella fun. You'd learn so much. And one of the things that they talked about was that when you have an elite talent on a team, there is an unconscious deferential to that diminishes the capacity of the team. So in other words, when the other four guys on the court see somebody they're playing with who they perceive to be far more talented than them, there is an deferring to that player to take on more, to do more. And as a result, the collective potential is diminished. The collective ability for everyone to participate and engage and produce is diminished because they defer to this other individual. Now, here's the thing. When I did the last video, this was precisely the premise of what I was seeing. But it happens twofold. I pointed out that many times Cade Cunningham tries to take over from the very beginning of the game, the very beginning. And it completely, I think it undermines the team's start to games. And I don't think he consciously take over. I think he's just maybe excited. He's juiced. He's like, yo, I'm about to do this. Let's go. And he doesn't necessarily take the team with him. And the point that I made in the previous video was that he actually needs to start the game a part of the flow because he has that ability as well. He plays extremely well within systems and within the flow of the game. He has the ability to take over, but that's not necessarily towards the betterment of, you say, yo, yeah, it's going crazy, bro. Your Wi-Fi. Oh, can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me all right. Sorry, my lock sometimes would be hitting the other little microphone. All that's to say is that Cade Cunningham, I think he plays better within the flow, despite his ability to take over games. And one of the things that I've noticed is that when he tries to take over games too soon, oh, it's choppy. Ah, shit. All right, to do what we do. I'll probably try it from a different spot next time. All this to say is, when Cade Cunningham seems like he did against Miami, and he's taking 3-4 shots in a row, 5 shots in a row, what he's doing is if you notice, everyone else is standing around. Everyone else is standing around. They're just watching. They're just sitting back and letting him do his thing. And when you have other guys who kneel in their hands, like Asar Thompson, to be able to play that point forward role, Tim Hardaway Jr. needs to get that catch and shoot game going. Tobias Harris needs to get that little mid post. Jalen needs an opportunity to catch a lob or two, or to maybe, take his man off the bounce, get to the free throw line. When you have these other guys on your team, opportunities, and they don't get it because they're standing around watching you, you're actually slowing down the team collectively getting going. And when we say getting going, that means guys are finding themselves within the flow of the offense. They are able to step into opportunities for themselves to play well and to perform on the offensive end. The impact that that's having is this team is getting off to slow starts, really slow starts, like really slow starts. And in this game, when I'm watching it, in that first quarter, I'm like, man, Cade Cunningham is burying them. He's literally burying this team by doing too much over penetration into the key, getting stuck around trees. Because I keep telling y'all, the league is getting a lot bigger. And you got 7-foot Khalil Ware with his 7'6" wingspan and his 35-inch vertical, and he's sitting there pump faking them, looking for a foul call. What's going on, Tony? Shane. It's like when Cade Cunningham continues to try to impose his will too early in games before the rest of his team has gotten it going, what ends up happening is that the defense completely clean. And you saw in that first quarter, he would drive into the lane, get to the rim, and there'd be 4 or 5 guys surrounding him, and he's still trying to get the shot up. It's not that he can't, it's that that's not to the betterment of his team, making guys better at that point. The way he was playing in the first half of this game, working against the team, and we saw that the moment he came out the game at the end of the first, going into that second quarter, the team collectively made a comeback, lead. Then Cade comes back in that third quarter and kind of fall off again. And then eventually in the second half, that third to fourth quarter, Cade starts finding his flow and his rhythm and scoring in transition, scoring when there's open lanes off the ball, getting moved around. And then they're able to come back. We all know the rest is history. He hits the game-winning shot. It's to say, this is how Cade needs to be playing the whole time. The whole time, Cade Cunningham needs to be playing within the system. He's good. He's that good that he could put up 25 to 30 points a game within the system. But here's the thing. When he plays within the system, everyone else plays at a high level with him. Everyone else. Asar Thompson plays right them, getting assists, getting to the rim, getting rebounds, getting engaged. Jalen Duren is attacking his man off the dribble, getting to the free throw line, putting pressure on the opposed front court. Right? Tim Hardaway Jr., straight line drives, getting out in transition, hitting catch and shoot threes, hitting the dribble handoffs. Right? As we're going. And now it's far harder for the defense to collapse on him. Tony Headhunter, Cade's flow is so important within the system. Yeah, his flow. And even if I'm honest, Cade doesn't even look like Cade when he starts off from the very beginning of games trying to get his. He doesn't even look like himself. He looks like he's forcing it. He looks like he's pressing, like he's trying to prove something or show something, right? And we've already learned through these 39 wins and a bunch of close games that we may have lost that the team and the system is actually good enough to get you there. This isn't Allen Iverson's Philadelphia 76ers where he is the offense, right? Aaron McKee and Eric Snow are there. George Lynch, and Matt Geiger are not going to get you there. Dikembe Mutombo they are not going to get you there. You need Allen Iverson to get 35 to 40. That's what you need, right? This is not that team. This is not that team. This is a team that is good enough get Cade Cunningham to the finish line, which they did. The team was the reason why they were able to get back in this game twice from the first half and the second half. Ruder running that second unit. Ron Holland has such a good game. He plus 11 on the night, right? He had the second highest plus minus behind Jalen Duren. Right? Only 2 fouls, 3 or 4 from the field, 1 resist, 1 block, but it was his motor, his tenacity, defense, getting out of transition, straight line drives, attacking the rim, getting downhill. He had such a great game, and he only had 12 and a half minutes. 12 and a half minutes. These are things I don't think it's going to change. 14 games to go. JB Bickerstaff's not going to become something new, and I talked about this before, that, you know what, if JB is going to make primary stability and consistency over moving around and shifting roles and playing times, I get that. I totally understand that. And you know what? After the season they had last season, I get why stability is. Let these guys grow and thrive within the roles that they have and maximize the roles they have, prepare them for next year. Okay, I get that. I'm with it. I'm not going to argue with the man who's coach of the year and has 39 wins on the season, right? Let's seed for the playoffs. I'm not going to argue with him. You're doing something right, all right? You're here for a reason. Do what you do. I might see opportunities. If I was sitting down with you in the front office, I might say, hey, JB, what do you think about this? What do you think? What do you think about Ron Holland getting some more of those minutes behind Asar Thompson? What about Asar Thompson just getting more minutes? He actually played 28 and a half minutes. Hey, you know what? Let's give credit when credit is due. We've been asking for JB Bickerstaff to give Asar Thompson more minutes, and you know what? He got him to 28 minutes. Okay, that might be a season high. It might be a season high, and he looked damn good in it. Right? Asar Thompson learning to pace himself. Ended the night with only 3 fouls. Good job. Right? 6 rebounds. He was effective on the boards, which is what you want to see from Asar Thompson. Right? So I'm not going to complain about that. All that's to say is this team to get Cade Cunningham to the finish line. And he's going to have to start relenting to that. He's going to have to start to embrace that and accept that. Ed Robinson, how about let the coach coach and the fan, JB doing? That's exactly what I just said, bro. That's exactly what I just said. You see, we can notice opportunities. There's nothing wrong with that. We can even critique and be like, hey, this guy needs some more minutes. There's nothing wrong with that. And I can also accept that, you know what? There's more than one way to skin a cat, right? There's more than one ways to get something. And if you're finding success, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, especially on my behalf. Don't fix it. You're at 39 wins. Do what you do, bro. Do what you do. But you know what, Cade Cunningham, what I need from you is to also do what I hope you are learning to do, which is trust your team. Trust the system. Get these other guys going. Play within the flow of the offense. Because when you do, it opens the game up for you. When Asar Thompson is flying down the court, playing point forward, the court is wide open for Cade. Because Asar gets down the court, it puts the defense on their heels, and there's no way they can continue to shift to be able to stay in front of Cade. It's impossible. If they stay back with Cade, who's normally trailing behind Asar Thompson, what ends up happening is that it lanes to the basket. And I love what I saw Asar Thompson, I believe he was putting up Tyler Hero, right? Asar, 6'7", Tyler Hero is about 6'4", 6'5". And it was clear. I mean, he wasn't just taller than Tyler Hero. He was bigger. He was stronger. And he went to the post backed him down to the block, fake over the right shoulder, turned over the left, fade away. I was like, that thing looked clean. That thing looked clean, looked smooth. Okay, Asar, I see where you're headed. I see where you're going, right? I told y'all I'd rather see Asar work on his post game than actually focus on hitting more threes, even though that's looked a lot better as well. Ed Robinson, if Cade didn't trust his team or get his guys involved consistently, he wouldn't be third in the league in assists. True. This narrative that Cade doesn't involve his team enough is insane and delusional. Well, here's what's not delusional. If you watch Ed, when you watch that first half, how much was he getting his team involved? I'll wait. No, I won't, because it's my live. He wasn't. He wasn't, especially in that first quarter. He was not getting the team involved. He was not trusting guys. He was not putting guys in position. He was not rotating, making sure Jalen Duren's getting the ball at the top of the key to run dribble handoffs for Tim Hardaway Jr. Right? He was not allowing Asar Thompson to run that point so that Cade can reserve his energy and still offense flowing. He was not doing those things in the first half. The second half, he started to. In the second quarter, a little bit, because the team brought them back a double-digit deficit while he was on the bench. Did you miss that, Ed? You might have missed that. You might want to go back on NBA League Pass and watch it again like I do. Pause and rewind and developed. Right? This ain't delusional. This ain't something that's just made up and concocted. All right? I've been doing this for a long time. I told y'all I don't do a video if I haven't gone back and watched the game on my own. Not just, I'm talking about pause, rewind, let's see how this develops. Who's bringing the ball up? Where are guys moving on the floor? Who's just standing around? Yeah, he's the best player. He should be both looking for his shot and moving the ball. He had 5 assists at the half. True. That's very true. Both can be true. They also needs to be looking for his shot within the flow of the offense, which is the point. Within the flow of the offense, because within the flow, that is where everyone else is able to get going. And when everyone else has it going, he's able to actually find easier opportunities. How many times did he get his shot ate up by Khalil Ware, over penetrating into the teeth of the defense under the basket, getting stuck with Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware surrounding him, huh? How many times? How many times did he turn the ball over penetrating into the lane, and there's 4 or 5 defenders all around him? And instead of trying to kick it out, he's fumbling it, dribbling. Right? There's a flow to this. Right? If you listen to great point guards, especially point guards who also scored a little bit, right? You listen to guys like Chris Paul, who I consider to be a great point guard, not Kendrick Perkins, top 5. No. I'm talking about the guys we call point gods, floor generals, the guys who understood winning, won at a high, even in the playoffs, right? Their plus minus when it came to winning was through the roof. Guys like Jason Kidd, right? Guys like Steve Nash, right? The all-time greats. One thing they consistently always talk about is why they focused on getting everyone else involved early in the first half. They understood, I'm going to need these guys to get me across the finish line. I'm going to need these guys ready, confident, already have their shot flowing, they're in rhythm, they're expecting the ball, they're forcing the defense, pay attention to them. And then in the second half, they turn it on after already setting up everyone else. After. There's a strategy to this. There's a reason why it's a long season. It's a long season. Trying to be a heliocentric offensive shot creator has not ever really been that effective. There's been very few who've been able to pull that off. Allen Iverson, James Harden, Michael Jordan wasn't even able to pull that off. Quiet as kept. Michael Jordan couldn't even pull that off. You're saying, what are you talking about? He's playing against high-level basketball players. Getting your shot blocked does not mean it was a bad attempt. Bro, you're exposing yourself. Say you didn't watch the game without saying you didn't watch the game, bro. I asked you, how many times did Cade drive to the basket and get stuck underneath the rim and force the shot up against multiple defenders, including Khalil Ware? How many times? At least 3 times. At least three, 4. And that's not counts. He dribbled towards the basket and lost his handle, got the ball knocked out, right? Mishandled, trying to figure out how to weave between all these defenders. Those are bad offensive attempts, especially when you have open players around you, especially when you have the options, especially when you can get the ball to Jalen Duren, who was dominating Khalil Ware when he wanted to get to the rim. There was nothing Bam or Khalil to keep Jalen Duren out of the paint, to keep him from attacking the rim, getting to the free throw. Right? Like these are things that Cade Cunningham has to see. He has to see this. He has to see, oh, Tim Hardaway Jr. hasn't had a shot in 6 minutes. The game just started. He hasn't shot the ball yet. Let's get him a shot. Hey, you know what? Asar is supposed to be being this point forward. You know, defer to him. Matter of fact, if I'm in transition and I see him running ahead of me and there's only a defender between me and him, I'm giving him the ball to use his athleticism to down the court and see if he can create something because he has an advantage. These are things that you have to say as a floor general, as a team leader. How did I expose myself? You didn't even read my comment correctly. You said, read. Reading. What you are talking about is playing against high-level basketball players. Getting your shot blocked does not mean it was a bad attempt. I did not say that. I said over penetration. Over penetrating to the basket, being surrounded by defenders, and not kicking the ball out to open offensive players is a bad offensive possession. That's what I said. That's what I said. I know these are all high-level basketball players. It's the NBA, bro. This is the NBA. Tobias Harris is an MVP in Europe. He's in Australia. He's an MVP in China. If he was in China his whole career, he might be the greatest of all time in China. Here, he's the fourth option. Right? You have to understand, there's a lot of talent there. That's why I have expectations according to Cunningham's talent, according to his talent. Is it possible the Heat's defense actually prevented some of these actions and the Pistons broke them down? No. I watched the game, bro. I'm watching. Cade is not even looking for Duren at the top of the key. You see, when you're the point guard, if you're going to be the facilitating lead guard who sets up the offense, you have to put guys in position. He was not putting guys in position. There was no calling Jalen Duren to the top. There was no slowing it down and setting it up. He was going right into his bag. And the team was deferring as they should. They said, okay, you're the man. You're trying to get yourself going. Go ahead, do what you do. They're not going to tell him not to take shots. He's the best. They know that. Everyone knows that. However, for Cade Cunningham to be at his best, the other guys have to have it going as well. They have to be threats. And for them to get it going, to get into a rhythm, to be a threat, they have to get touches. They have to have opportunities to score. They have to be in a position where the defense to respect them. They can't do that if he freezes them out by taking the first 5 or 6 possessions of a game, by taking 3 in a row, especially when he's coming up empty. But here's the thing we've learned about Cade Cunningham already is that his endurance is not quite there. So when he's trying to take over again from beginning to end, he rarely is able to actually close it out. He is at his best when the team is actually performing at a high level and getting him to the position where he can close a game that's already closed. What's good, Ghost Keeper? Was waiting to go live and talk about the Pistons. Yo, hey, real talk. Real talk. These Pistons, this is a good team. This is a really good team. And it's ceiling, yo, they are not even scratching the surface, bro. I hope you guys are ready for the next 5 to 8 years of being an above 500 team, playoff team year. This is going to be a great era. Knock on wood, no injuries, right? No more injuries. This is going to be an era. I hope you guys understand that. I hope you guys understand that. I might do a separate video on that all together. We are entering into a Pistons era. Okay, Crusader, how do you like the remaining schedule for the Pistons to finish the season? Yeah, I think they get to at least about 43 to 44 wins. They're going to get at least 3 to 5 more wins, at least. At least. I looked at the schedule between Indiana, Milwaukee, and Detroit. Indiana has the most favorable. Detroit has the second most. Milwaukee has the hardest. I think we end up in a 5 matchup against Indiana, which I think that is the team that we probably have the best chance against. But in order to have that, Cade is going to have to trust his team. I'm going to do a video on that coming soon as well. But let me be clear. Oh, I didn't expect 39 wins, man. Yeah, no, none of us did. None of us did. My early video prognosis, it said 32 to 35. Imagine if they had Jaden Ivey. Imagine if they had Jaden. If this team had Jaden Ivey, yo, they're at close to 50 wins, bro. If they had Jaden Ivey this whole second half of the season, imagine if they had Asar and Ivy from the very beginning, with Cade in starting lineup. Asar playing 30 minutes a game. Yo, this is a 50 plus win team. Healthy, this is a 50 plus win team. Straight up, this is an era that the Pistons are entering into. For the next 5 to 10 years, expect between 45 and 55 wins a season. This is about to be a golden era. Like I said, knock on wood, no one else gets hurt. Golden era. Because what we're seeing is that with two of our big three, right? Cade, Ivy, Asar Thompson. Those are the big three. Three most important players on this team. With two, you can get to 40 plus wins. With three of them, over 50. I completely believe that. After seeing what they're doing right now, I completely believe, because I don't think teams have what it takes to take what this team to bring night to night. I don't think that teams are set up for two dominant lead guards, for two guys whom you're in front of. I don't think they have it. Let me see. Ed Robinson. Here goes the K doesn't trust his team because talking point again. I don't think that he doesn't trust his team. I never said he doesn't trust his team. I never said that. Never said he doesn't trust his team. I said he needs them more. He needs to trust them enough to say, hey, I can play within the system. I don't have to take over from beginning to end. I can actually put this thing in cruise. I can actually downshift, save my energy, which is what veterans do, right? Veterans work smarter, not harder. And it's a thing that young guys are going to struggle to do, right? Young guys, they want to go super hard, and the older guys, like, man, you're going to hurt your back, youngster. Time, youngster. Chill out. You know what I mean? Take your time. That's why us older cats got a better sex game. I'm just saying. We take our time. We're intentional. We listen. See what everybody else needs. Make sure everybody's pleased and happy. That's just a little bit of game for y'all. It's a little bit of game. Take your time. But Cade Cunningham needs this time. Set up Jalen Duren. Let Jalen Duren get a few buckets. Get to the free throw line. Let Asar Thompson run that point for the first 5, 6 possessions. You're going to get the ball, bro. You're going to get the ball. Asar Thompson's going to drive to the rim. It's going to create an opportunity for Jalen Duren or Tim Hardaway Jr. The defense is going to rotate. And who are they going to have to rotate off of, bro? And you're going to get a wide open three. Wide open driving lane to the rim. You're going to score so easily in the flow of the offense early in games. You're going to have yourself going. Then by the time that you start taking over naturally, you're just going to be in a rhythm. And because other guys are actually taking over more, he's going to be able to get so many free opportunities. So many free opportunities. Yo, let me get to some of these comments here. Ghost Keeper, with Ivy, do you think we can be better than the... Yo, yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to be honest. With Jaden Ivey, top 3 seed. We're top 3 or 4 seed. Straight up. No. Like, real talk. Real talk. With Jaden Ivey, the Detroit Pistons are a top 4 seed every year for the next probably 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years. This is a dynasty. It's a dynasty. Even if they don't win more than one, I think they'll win at least one chip with this core. I think they'll win at least one. I think the worst thing they could do, is go after Devin Booker. The worst thing they could do. Hamstring their salary cap. I don't think Booker is that much greater of a floor raiser. I don't think Devin Booker, like he's a huge upgrade over Tim, but for your salary cap, he's going to hamstring you, and it's going to prevent you from being able to maximize this roster's potential. Because I don't think too many more guys are going to be getting $60 million under this second apron. Let me see, Cade Crusader. Everyone is saying that the Knicks would be the best matchup for the Pistons. I'm not so sure. I'm not either. Actually want the Pacers since both of those teams don't have much to lose. Very true. I think that if the New York Knicks were to go big against the Detroit Pistons, it would create huge problems. If they were to start Mitchell Robinson alongside Karl Anthony Towns, and then OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, bring Josh Hart off the bench, and Jalen Brunson, I think we would still have moments, but I think that would be over in like 4 or 5. It would be short work. And figured out that double big lineup, and Milwaukee creates a similar challenge for us as well with a double big lineup. Yeah, I don't like those for us yet. I think we need a front court player, somebody like Jabari Smith Jr. He would be a good option for us at that power forward position. Maybe even Santi Aldama, but I like Jabari better because he's a little bit more physical. Even if he doesn't shoot as many threes, I think he could be like a pound next to Alonzo Mourning type of a front court. He's 6'10", 6'11", 6'10", 6'11 type need. That's why I want to see what Bobby Clintman can come back and become this summer, working on his game, getting his body stronger, coming to Summer League, dominating Summer League, force JB Bickerstaff to give you minutes. And I think he could be the potential solution for us, homegrown. Let me see. Ed Round said he has to start trusting his team more. Ed, I need you to listen, Ed. Start trusting his team more. That's been the point the entire way through. Start from the beginning, not just a soundbite. Trusting more. All right. His team gets him across that finish line twice. Who brought the Pistons back? The team. It was a team. It was a team effort. Do you deny that it was a team effort? Are you saying it was Cade that brought him across, come up and brought him back in the game, and then hit the game-winning shot? Is that what you're saying, Ed? That the team was waiting on Cade, or did Kench and then the team comes roaring back? Because that's what I saw. That's all, Ed. That's what I saw twice. But this isn't anything new because that's what happened in the last game against Oklahoma. As soon as Cade Cunningham got tossed out the game, the team goes back to playing collectively within the system, and then their defense ramps up, and then they're creating more opportunities, and the next thing they come all the way back. They just fell short against OKC. Right? Ghost Keeper was good. I don't want Book. Yeah, I don't want Book either, man. Breaking up our core would devastate me. Me too. I hope we see Bobby Clintman next year. I think we will see Bobby Clintman next year. I think he's a really good talent. He's a really good and his size, like shout out to Trajan. As much as Troy Weaver played a hand in saying, hey, look at these guys in terms of Ron Holland and probably also Bobby Clintman. Trajan Langdon got that handoff, which was right before the draft, so he wasn't necessarily to do a lot of the work pre-draft, even though I'm sure he was already aware in a lot of these rooms. Just to say that shout out to the two of them figuring out these selections. The Ron Holland, Bobby Clintman selections remind me of the Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren selections, where you find the right guys selections, right? Because we took Ron Holland over Matas Buzelis, who looks really good as well, right? Who looks really good as well. But you say, I think we need this guy. I think this guy has the higher. I think this guy has more potential. He's going to fit what Detroit basketball is about a little bit more. He's got that grit. He's got that toughness, right? And then Bobby Clintman, 6'10", can stretch the floor, move his feet. He's with a good basketball IQ and feel for the game, which he does at a high level. I really appreciate that about him. He plays really well without the ball. Gives really good effort, has really good athleticism. He's far closer to a Jabari Smith Jr. than people realize. I think Jabari might be a little bit longer with a 7'3" wingspan, something like that, 7'3" wingspan. Bobby Clintman is like 7'1", 7'2" wingspan. I think they're similar athletes. I have to see Bobby Clintman defense. I'll probably go back into the annals and, go through some videos and see what his hoop intellect actually has some good videos on him. I want to see what his defense is like. But it's to say, if he can be a good positional defender as well, he would be the future answer for us. And to slide into that starting role when Tobias Harris's contract is up, whom I would I've seen enough from Tobias Harris to say, I want you on this team for the rest of your career, and you be that veteran that stabilizes us for the next 4, 5, 6 years, however long you want to stay coming off the bench. Ed Robinson, okay, you got another point. Coming back to me, Ed, was good. It being team effort has nothing to do with him not trusting his team enough. Like I said, if this was the case, he is not top 3 in assists. Look, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double, double-digit assists. And we also saw that him running the point was not what that team needed when it came to winning when it mattered the most in the playoffs. There are guys who are going to get a lot of assists because the ball is in their hands. It doesn't mean that that's what's best for the team and their long-term outlook. There's a difference. There is a difference. And when I watch Cade Cunningham play on this team, I recognize that this offensive system runs best a part of it, and he takes over within the flow of the offense. Let me be 100% clear, just so you can soundbite me, Ed, and you can be like, okay, that's exactly what this brother is saying. This offense runs best when Cade Cunningham starts the game within the flow of offense as a facilitator who allows other guys to step into roles where they can have opportunities to score ball, to facilitate, and get into a rhythm, and then allowing himself to naturally take over within the flow of that offense. In other words, when he allows Asar Thompson on the point at the beginning of the game for 3 to 5 possessions in a row, when he allows Jalen Duren to facilitate dribble handoffs at the or decide to keep the ball and attack his man off the bounce, when he's making sure that Tim Hardaway Jr. is getting some dribble handoff threes, Tobias Harris getting to the post, or a straight line drive and gets himself a layup to the free throw line, when he's making sure everyone else is eating first and he's scoring in the flow, he and this offense operate at a far higher level. Cade Cunningham is taking 3 to 4 or 5 possessions in for himself at the beginning. As we saw in this game, as we saw against Oklahoma City and previous games, when Cade Cunningham trusts the offense, when he trusts his teammates to get going, even if they're not getting going, their offensive aggressiveness takes pressure. And when I say pressure, I mean defensive attention off of that allows him to pick his spots more easily and to take advantage of opportunity created by the aggressiveness of his teammates. Because talent and his position on his team looks to him to lead them and to start them off. Though I think in the next years, guys will be more comfortable stepping to these roles and asking for the ball. As time goes, I think Ivy and Asar Thompson don't have a hard time being like, you know what, I haven't touched the ball in a while. Let me go take it out. I know Cade is right here. Cade, I got this. I need to get myself going too. Right? And that's going to be when the team is operating their best. So I hope that was clear for you. Who said Trajan Langdon? Look at the backup center spot in the draft of free agents. Paul Reed is likely not to be back within the team. Oh, totally true. Totally true. I think he does look for one, even though Isaiah Stewart is holding it down, bro. So I think anybody that he looks at, there was a few people that I threw at on X who might be available either in the back end of the first round. We can try to move up and get a pick, or in the second round, who we might be able to get to be a third string developmental center. I wouldn't mind him grabbing somebody who's a little bit raw and throwing him in the G League. Throw him in the G League. But hey, I don't know if you noticed, there are guys like Jay Huff. I don't know if you're watching this dude, Jay Huff in Memphis, right? A 7-footer who's hitting threes and got bunnies, got bounce, banging on cats, great in transition, can block shots, physical. He's older too. He's like 25, 26 years old, something like that. And in the G League, I wouldn't be mad if that's where Trajan looks. If in the G League, what 7+ footers, long, lengthy bigs are available there that we can bring in to say, hey, we need to increase our depth. I want to sign you to a veteran minimum. I want to sign you to a minimum contract, fully guaranteed to be our third string big and allow you to continue to develop. And if there's opportunities for you, it'll be here. But I also like who we drafted last year. What's his name? If y'all remember his name, I forget his name. He's in the G. He's been in the G League most of the season, but he's nice. He's nice. He's nice. He's nice. Somebody tell me his name in the chat. Ed Robinson. Also, as far as not wanting to break up this core, quote unquote, you said core. Okay. Some of these guys will eventually have to be moved regardless. Why do you think? If it can be done for a proven superstar, then let it be so. How many guys are you willing to sacrifice from this core for a supposedly proven superstar? And what superstars are you supposing are available? Do you think he's a superstar? I sure as hell don't. He never looked like a superstar to me before Chris Paul got there. He wasn't winning before Chris Paul got there. And he struggled to win after Chris Paul left. And Durant. You look at that roster is prime. Tyus Jones, everybody knows he's a really solid point guard. He's got Nick Richards. He's got Kevin Durant. He's got guys. Bradley Beal on the bench, willing to take a bench role. He's got guys, and he can't get that team into the play. He's not even in the play-in right now. Or he might have barely snuck in last night because I think Dallas lost, right? So he'd be a 10th seed. That's the superstar? Is that the star that you're talking about, Ed Robinson? Because I think if I'm Trajan Langdon, I could probably get Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey for under 50 million combined, maybe 55, right? Put in some incentive. I think he can get both of them. If you can get Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey for the cost of Devin Booker, or as you said, a super. And if it's not Devin Booker, I want to know who you're talking about, because not too many superstars are even available. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not leveraging this core for nobody. And if I can get Ivy and Duren for under 50, I'll have enough to re-sign Asar Thompson, because he's going to command close to 30. Guarantee. I guarantee you after next season, he's going to blow up and look like the next Scottie Pippen. Those little turnaround post-ups over his left shoulder, those little forays to the basket that he seemed to like not figure out how fast he's going and how he's up. Oh, he's going to figure that out this offseason. Guarantee you. He's going to start averaging 18 plus points a game, getting to the free throw line, about 4 or 5 assists, 5, 6 rebounds, probably 2, 3 stocks a game. He's going to start looking scary. He's going to get 30 plus million when he's available to extend next season. Right? So you look at, if I have 3 guys with potential all-star potential to surround Cade with, and just one, I'm going with that. I'm going with that. And Robinson again, you're comparing a proven stat pattern in West, who was caught on video passing up shots to get his 10th assist, to Cade, clearly ball efficiently. These things don't correlate. Cade does not always clearly move the ball efficiently. Are you denying that? Cade's assist to turnover ratio is what? I don't even think it's 2-1. He's got one of the worst assist to turnover ratios of top assisting point guards in the NBA. Did you see that stat too? Ed Robinson, they'll step into these roles when they're ready. Duren was featured at the beginning of the year, and JB had to scale back his role because he was clearly not ready. You're right. You're completely right. I don't think that he was not ready in terms of his offensive game. I think he wasn't ready because they didn't have perimeter defense. You see, sometimes we want to make a direct correlation as if everything's linear, right? As a player, you should produce offensively. Sometimes the things that prevent someone from producing necessarily have to do with their offensive ability or skill as much as it has to do with the context of their experience. Jenkins, no, it isn't. It wasn't Jenkins. It was the big man. Tooley or something like that. Tulum, Tulum, something like that. He played at Mississippi. I think it was like Mississippi State or something like that. Um, but he's on the G League roster. He's like 6'10". He's got a nice game. Check him out in the league. Somebody find his name for me. He's probably going to be the third string center next year. If anything, I think that this team drafts a shooter, draft a dead eye shooter who moves well off the ball and plays defense. Somebody like a Ben Shepherd type. I think that's who we see them draft this year, to take Tim Hardaway Jr.'s position as like a third string guard. But it's Cade Cunningham has to trust this team more. Not trust the team. He trusts his team. Sometimes he forgets what optimizes the team. He gets too locked in, especially at the beginning of games, and that leads to this team falling behind early. But good points, good thoughts. Let's see. I do think. Oh, so let me finish the point about Jalen Duren. The reason why Jalen Duren struggled early in the season, I don't think it was because he wasn't ready offensively. I think it was because getting into foul trouble too often. He was getting into foul trouble too often. They had no perimeter containment. Jalen Duren is not an defensive big to where he's ahead of the play and he sees things developing and he gets into position early or even on time. He's always kind of a half step behind the play defensively, which leads to early quick fouls, which he did in this last game against the Miami Heat. He sometimes just commits outright bad fouls, like foul in that first quarter. And you can see the look on JB's face. He's like, man, bro, why you Bam Adebayo at the 3-point line? It was like, it made no sense. It made no sense. Right? So when he's getting into foul trouble, it slows him down. He can't get going. He doesn't find his rhythm. And when he was perpetually in foul trouble, that's why they had to scale it back, because he wasn't even available. He wasn't even available. But now that he is more to play, right? He played close to 30 minutes and he was in foul trouble in this game. When he figures that part out and they have better perimeter containment, it's going to create more opportunities. I think that that's when he'll step into his role even more. Yeah, somebody figure out. He's on the roster. He's on a two-way deal, I believe. Somebody said, will they look at targeting a big man in this draft to be their third string kind of center? I think they already have him. I think it's Tulum Smith or something like that, who is playing for the Detroit Pistons G League affiliate, and he's been balling. He's been looking really good. Him and Bobby Klintman are going to be featured in Summer League. And they're going to be two guys that are going to be looked at to potentially be these front court reserves for the future. And I think who they try to target in this draft is a dead-eye shooter, somebody like a Ben Shepherd type, who's a 4-year guy, who can shoot the lights out of the ball, off the ball, high basketball IQ, physically ready, and they come in and potentially take the place of Tim Hardaway Jr. I'm going to be honest with you. Don't be shocked if Malik Beasley is not back either. As much as we love him, he might command more money elsewhere. Paying him more than $10 million a year, probably not something that they need to do. I don't think they need to do that because his role is going to be a hauler next year. They're going to be starting Jaden Ivey, who's going to be getting close to 30 minutes a game, 30 to 35 minutes a game, which is going to shrink that reserve shooting guard role. Especially Marcus Sasser will be better. Ron Holland will be getting close to 20 plus minutes a game, at least, which means that reserve shooting role is going to be really small. So you got to ask yourself, do you want to spend $15+ million on somebody who's going to have a 15 to 18 minute per game? Or do you want to maybe save money, just sign Lindy Waters for a minimum deal for the season, draft another really solid type, like I said, and then roll with the core with Marcus Sasser and Rolland off the bench. And then you still have Jaden Ivey, Cade, Asar, Tobias Harris, and Jalen Duren. Right? Big Stu, Fontecchio, or hopefully Bobby Klintman supplants Fontecchio. And then you got Tolu Smith, who's somebody, appreciate K Crusader, found the guy. Yep, Tolu Smith is the one you're referring to. Yeah. Check him out in the G League. He looks nice, bro. You got a little highlight reel. You can see real stuff. He's like another Jalen Duren, if I'm honest. I don't think he's as vertically explosive, but he's like a physical 6'10", burly big, and I think he brings that consistency. He's the type of big that if Jalen Duren was outstretched, knock on wood, I slide him right there next to Isaiah Stewart and maintain that continuity and style of play. Let me get to some of these comments here. Ed Robinson, this dude just said, We're going to pay our starting center 50 million. No, I didn't, bro. You don't listen, Ed, man. You don't listen at all, bro. I said that we can pay Duran and Jaden Ivey a combination of 50 million. In other words, each of them gets 23 or 22, 25 million a year, extending them both so that collectively, those checks add up to 50 to 55 million. That's what I said. But the contract scenario you just brought with Duran is sorry, you're not listening. Okay. Yeah. Fouls out during when the issue was his turnovers. It was the turnovers as well, but it was his foul trouble for him to actually get into the flow. Didn't allow him to get into the flow. They should target Andre Stojakovic. I wouldn't be mad at that, but I'll be honest with you. As I like his shooting, I would rather get probably some unknown guy. Like think about the dude who's starting for the Memphis Grizzlies. Did anybody see Jalen Wells coming? Did any Jalen Wells coming? 6'7", 6'8", dead-eye shooter, plays great defense, great off the ball. The NCAA is full like that, full of guys like that. If they can find someone like that in the second round, because as much as I like Andre Stojakovic, he's going to be a cone on defense. He's going to be a cone on defense, and I don't think we need any more cones on defense. We need somebody like a Jalen Wells, like a Ben Shepherd, a guy who can come in and defend. Really, we need somebody like a Quentin Grimes, that type of a guy. Tough, physical, right? Can do more than just catch and shoot. He can do some playmaking a little bit, maybe penetrate and kick, right? I think that's who we need to target in the draft. Other teams can pay Beasley the same as we can, the mid-level exception. True, I don't think that Beasley deserves the mid-level exception for us moving. Not that he doesn't deserve it after this season. He's had a great year, deserves to get paid. I just don't think that what we would pay him will be worth the role we'll have on this team moving forward. And so it would be better for us to let him sign someplace else. Yes, he's going to look great, and we may regret it at times, being like, man, we'd love to have his shooting, but not at the cost, not at the hit to our salary cap. It's where you got to play chessers. All right, Duran and Ivy going to have to take that Detroit discount deal, similar to Stu. I think both of them have earned low 20s. I don't think either of them showed that they're worth that much more than low 20s to mid 20 at the most. At the most. I don't think Jalen Duran has played $30 million a year type of contract. I don't, especially under this new second apron. And I don't think Jaden Ivey has either. Jaden Ivey at best, oh my goodness. Right now he'd be 28 million if you're betting on upside too. All right, but I wouldn't. I don't even think that that's what he would demand right now. He loves Detroit. He wants to be there. I think you can get them both for between 23 to 25, 26 at the most. Maybe scale it however you want to do. Maybe have it be a descending, deal. Start them off at 30 and then let it descend over the, term of the contract. During let me see, Ghost Keeper. I would give up 3 first-round picks and a young player like Sass for Trey Murphy. Yeah, but they're not trading Trey Murphy. New Orleans has already been explicit about that. That's why they moved on from Brandon. But I think there's a Trey Murphy type. There's a Trey Murphy type. There's one in the Big East, something like that. He's like 6'8", 6'9", stretch forward, knocks down threes. I forget his name. I think he's going to be gone by the time the Detroit Pistons pick in the second round. Khalil Ware flat a lot last night, bro. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Like, that's the new in vogue center. The shot blocking, rim protecting center who can also stretch and hit threes, he can roll threat. And he also showed that little jump hook. Did y'all see that little jump hook? The Tobias Harris, little turnaround jumper over his left shoulder. That thing looked clean. Shout out to Miami Heat. Found him a real one. Finally put a center next to Bam Adebayo. So overdue. Now if they could just get a point guard, they'd be good. Let me see. Mega Hustler. I like that name. What up, Rock? What's good? What do you think about Nas Reed on the Pistons playing? I mean, they're not going to get Nas Reed from Minnesota. That's just not happening. They love him, just like New Orleans loves Trey Murphy. I like realistic options. If they were to get Nas Reed, I would be shocked. I'd be completely shocked. completely. To probably trade for him, and I don't know if he. Yeah, I wouldn't trade for him. I'm just saying I wouldn't. I wouldn't. He is his style of player. Great stretch big. I think I want a little bit more in terms of off the dribble and a little bit more defensively. Leadership. I don't think he's going to be worth what he would cost on the open market. Yeah, I like Tobias for next year too. Ed Robinson, Andre Stogovich is up for defense in the AC. Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that. I will take a second look at him. I haven't seen great defense. I have checked. I haven't seen anyone talking about his defense. In fact, I'll pull it up just because you dropped that. Hey, fact check me. Fact check me. Andre Stojakovic, all defensive. Andre Stojakovic. Anyone know Andre Stojakovic is supposed to be all defensive? I'm check it out now. You know what I mean? I've seen he had some good shooting nights. I think he's got good positional size. I don't know if he's playing lockdown defense, but if he is, hey, you know what? He would become a better option. But then if he's a 42% three-point shooter, which he currently is, averaging 20 points a game for Cal, which is in my backyard, I probably should go check him out because it's right here in Oakland, or in Berkeley, I should say. But if he's a 40% three-point shooter, 20 points a game, and he's an all defensive level player like Jaime Jaquez was, he's probably going to be gone in the first round. And he's probably not available for the Detroit Pistons in that second round. Let me see. I'm Malik Beasley gone. Turn back to Malik Beasley if we pay him. Yeah. If he can do this consistently, pay that man. He's super efficient. I think Malik Beasley has this year again. I don't think we use him as much moving forward. And I said this over and over. When Jaden Ivey returns, he's going to be getting 35 minutes a game. He's going to be getting 35 minutes a game. So that's something to think about. But I am going to check out Stojakovic. Let me see. Oh, you retracted him. Okay, you was getting on my top, huh? Huh? You thought I was just going to double down. Hey, if I don't know, I don't watch college basketball like that. I really don't. I listen for when the draft process starts and they start doing their workouts. You find out a lot more about these players when they get to the Chicago pre-draft camp, right? Which is probably where we're going to see Stojakovic play. Or when we get to there's a camp that's right before the pre-draft camp that allows you to get selected to go to Chicago. I think it's Portsmouth Invitational, right? So there's other opportunities, but we'll see what the conversation is around Andre Stojakovic then, if his defense holds up, right, and things of that nature. Let me see. Likely second team all defense. Okay. Naz Reid is an unrestricted free agent. Why wouldn't he be available? Because of what he's going to cost versus what the Pistons should be willing to pay. Now you have Tobias Harris. Is he that much better than Tobias Harris? Are you willing to give him Tobias Harris money? Because that money is also going to be extensions for Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey. And if you think he's going to be worth it, are you considering that the money you might pay him might also mean then you're not able to re-sign an Ausar Thompson? Because Ausar Thompson's going to be due something close to $30 million a year when he's available for extension next season. So you have to look down the road. You have to think about this. Is Naz Reid going to be more valuable than Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey and Ausar Thompson? And when you think about his age and timeline, I know he's not too old, but it's to say I like the core that they already have better. And so I think I would rather stick with Tobias Harris to play that similar role that Naz Reid would, because you already have Tobias. They already have the chemistry. And maintaining this unit, I think, breeds some stability and continuity that I think this team could definitely use, especially because they're a young team. And they'll be reintegrating Ivy with now Ausar Thompson in that starting lineup. There'll be a lot of things moving on already. Bobby Klintman, Tolu Smith, now probably having a full season as a third string backup, taking Paul Reed's spot. I think more of the route that they go. Let me see. Football is sex. Kobe could average 40 today. Sure, I guess. I have a different take on Kobe Bryant, and I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan. But I don't think Kobe, his lack of efficiency offensively has not been to the betterment of his team's success. I think when he's played with other All Stars that demand the ball from him, he's had greater team success, like Paul Gasol or Shaquille O'Neal, guys like that, Ron Artest. And he's playing within that triangle, sharing the ball. That's when he's at his best. Let me see, Ed Robinson. I tried the message because I misspelled it. Okay, happens to us all. Uh, Malik always been a really good shooter, though. He has. He has. He's always been a good shooter. I think he always will, but I don't think that he's going to have the same role. That's what you have to think about salary versus role. You don't want to pay somebody almost a starting level salary and the third or fourth bench guy. And I think next season his role is going to look a lot smaller. I think Marcus Sasser is going to be more of a lead guard. Um, he's going to get some more minutes. He's going to take Dennis Schroeder's minutes. He'll be more tribute. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Detroit Pistons pursue in free agents, not free agency, in the draft, a veteran guard, 4 years senior, who's got good size, who can maybe shoot, facilitate a little bit, and play deep. That'd be a great draft pick. But hey, y'all, I gotta hop off. It's been an hour and change with y'all. Appreciate everybody who jumped on, gave comments, even to challenge me a little bit. I appreciate you, Ed. I hope you come around for the next live. It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with the Rock Never. I'm gonna get at y'all next time. Peace.